Hey, good morning. Yes, it is Tuesday, October 3rd. October 3rd. Hunting season is open if you're into archery in New York State. For me, we're getting such record temperatures that I won't hunt anything that could possibly go to waste. So, and that includes beef. For the amount of money some hunters spend on going after these woolly whitetails, they could buy a beef cow. But I love the sport. It's a family tradition. All my grandkids have got lifetime hunting licenses that I bought them for something I wanted them to keep being able to have. And the prices always keep going up. So I thought I'd talk today a little bit about behaviors. Why behaviors? Well, you'll see that as I get into it. And then the other thing is, what is this crap of how we identify as? It makes no sense. So we can start there. I was brought up, if it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Period. I don't understand why these people are, I call them the 1%ers. And they're the ones that scream the loudest. And the 99%ers are the general population that just goes along with crap. And I think you 1%ers out there are starting to rile an ugly bear, which is the 99%ers. And what you may end up happening is you lose all the rights that you think you gained, plus. It's like pushing your parents to the edge and then wondering why you're restricted and you just lost all the privileges you had that you had earned up to that point. I don't understand it. Maybe one of you people out there could explain it to me. That if I'm okay on gay and lesbian. Yeah, I'm 60. That's cool. I actually have a sister-in-law that's lesbian. Love her to death. I have friends that are gay. But we're good friends. I have no issues with that. But what is this thing about identifying like a dog and then having the child barking in class and stuff like that? See, when a lot of this stuff started taking place, LGB, I can't even keep up with the alphabet with what's going on, okay? When a lot of this was starting up, and the marches and the gay pride and all this other stuff, my friends and family that already were and have been for years were just saying, oh no, don't do that. Please don't do that. You're going to end up, it's not what we want. We're not here to throw stuff into everybody else's face. We're just here to live our way of life, our dream. That's it. We don't need to have our sexual preferences and our sex lives thrown in the face of other people. Any more than me, a straight guy, wants to throw my sex life in the face of other people, which has gotten less, over the years. That's what happens. Take advantage of it when you're younger. But we sit down and we talk about it way back then, and it's like, this isn't going to turn out good for you guys. And my sister-in-law is just like, we don't want this. We don't want this getting the public all hyped up. And it's kind of like sticking an ugly bear. Eventually, you poke him enough, he's going to make a swing. And you're starting to see that now with parents. During COVID, finding out what a lot of these schools were teaching. And the worst thing that it's teaching is how to not be a adult, a good citizen, part of society, but to teach them to live on the extremes, the extremities. I mean, if you guys know something that I'm missing, feel free. Because to me, it would be like, now, let's say you had this guy. He decided that he was going to identify as a dog. He went over to the neighbor's house, dropped his drawers, took a hell of a crap on the guy's yard, and then walked over and pissed all over the guy's tires, ends up in jail and tries to figure out why, because he identifies as a dog. You're not a dog. Now, I could see that happening years ago, my younger years, of when I'd be out drinking, I just might go over in the middle of the night and take a crap and piss on the neighbor's tires. I mean, very well could have happened. But I wasn't identifying as a dog. I was drunk. That was my excuse. You are what you are. There's enough categories with just being a straight male, and it's how much I achieve things, how I look at things, how I equate things. We're all the same, but we're all different. We're unique. And that's the thing that the schools should be teaching, is each and every one of you guys out there and gals are unique. You're a one of a kind. You're a keeper. That's it. Teach that. Teach to have pride about yourself. Start teaching that it's okay to be, if you work hard, you get farther ahead. If you go to a soccer game, baseball game, basketball game, some schools will end up with a trophy, whereas other schools will not, depending on how well they play. Some individual players will get MVP, or first string or whatever, but not now. Everybody gets a participation trophy. And you're looked down on if you try to look better than anybody else out there. What is that teaching your kids when they go into the workforce? For you guys like me that have been through the workforce, to just be mundane, not to try to achieve greatness, not to try to get ahead. Instead of being the janitor there, you could have turned out to be the CEO. But you didn't, because nobody taught you that it's okay to fight tooth and nail and put the extra effort in to achieve it. See, I always told my kids growing up that anything you want is achievable if you're willing to put the energy into it. But I want you to find something that you enjoy doing and do it. Don't chase money. Money has never made anybody happy. And the worst of it is school was all about reading, writing, arithmetic, and social studies. I even took home ec too. But I was doing that to meet all the girls, be around them more. But the basics aren't even being covered now in our school systems. And I can hear, I hear people holler, oh, it's the teacher's fault. Oh, it's the union's fault. Oh, it's all of our faults for allowing the one percenters to get in there and change how we do business. We need to change in direction of leadership in the school systems. You need people with the kahunas to say, are you out of your mind? We're not teaching that. We're not condoning that. We're not anything. Teachers are not babysitters either, and they are not the parents of their students, period. Most kids have already got parents. And I understand, my generation went from seeing prior generations have one workout, usually the male, and the mom stayed home with the kids. And by doing so, did a better job of rearing really good kids. Now, we wanted more. Instead of one car and a one-car garage, we wanted 2 cars and a 2-car garage. Instead of a basic housing, we wanted double the living space that we really didn't need and we don't use, but we wanted more. So some of that took place to bring both parents into the workforce. Another was, women's rights and stuff. See, I've always been a firm believer that one parent should be around for the kids. And it's the one that has the more motherly instincts. I mean, this isn't no knock on you guys, on us guys. There's things that we cannot do to nurture a child. Stand up straight, quit your crying. We're a motherly, give them a hug, send them on their way, and everything's better. The real culprit in all of this is the one percenters wanting to change how the schools teach. And now you've got the government involved with CRT and stuff like that. And I sat down with my grandson a few years back. He was in the CRT program. I think I'm pronouncing it right. And he was showing me how to do arithmetic. And he's got all these different steps in there and how to straight line it. What happened to being able to learn, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 times 4 is 28. You should know all these things. And how to multiply and bring it down so that you can see. Well, CRT shows you more of the breakdown on how you come to that answer. No, it doesn't. It's sliding things around that make no sense. Schools were a way to get a starting point of teaching our kids how to read, write, arithmetic, so that we could use that in social studies so that we didn't forget what our past is or was. It was the one percenters that were tipping over statues of people they called Confederate and wanting to change the names of football teams, major football teams, change the names of schools, and having mascots for teams that have been that way for 100 years removed because it might hurt somebody's feelings. Who cares? Well, you should be caring, because the one percenters right now and your government are the ones that are making all these policy changes that are not doing your kids or your grandkids a bit of good. I never thought I would see it in my day of society the way it is right now when it comes to our children. Our children don't have any work ethics, incentives. So you're seeing up to 20 and 30-year-olds still living at home with their parents down in the basement playing video games. And I blame the parents too. I'd say not a chance. I raised you once. I ain't raising you again. And I sure in hell am not going to support you. You need to, if you don't have a job, make it a job to find a job. And you damn well better take the first job that is posted. I don't care if it's at McDonald's, because they're paying $15 an hour. Get off your ass and start working. You don't have the right to tell everybody else that they need to pay your way. No, you're not that special. You have to prove your worth. And the biggest thing that is not being taught or shown or felt is self-worth. And we're seeing that as employers, for us that are running businesses and so forth. That there's a whole different attitude. I've spoken about this before. I'm not pro-union. I'm not non-union. I don't get into that. But I feel if you're an auto worker and you're being paid $70, $80 an hour, you're making good money. I don't care how you slice it. And then to say that you want a 40% raise on top of that, and that you only want to work 32 hours a week instead of 40, you don't dictate policy of that business. The business owner does. You can make subtle changes within the business if you can show the business owners that it's worthwhile to do. But I'm also not keen on the idea of having CFOs, CEOs, and these guys, acquisition managers, get these huge raises for bringing in all this extra money or figuring out how to make more money. Because what I've seen is the majority has been left behind. They cannot afford the prices of new vehicles. Even the middle class is struggling to afford your vehicles. And the biggest thing that makes me laugh is all this fight that they have going on. They're not looking long term of the benefits or the disadvantages. See, all these car companies are pushing right now for EV, electric vehicles. Ford took a hell of a hit, I think it was $4 billion, that they took a loss on these EVs. But before long, they're going to be out of a job. These guys that are screaming they need more money and less hours work. And do you think the other countries that are producing vehicles for the U.S. economy are screaming about that? No. Most of them aren't even making $15 an hour. And they're working 50, 60 hours a week. And let's not forget robotics. Everybody thought, that they can't get rid of us because they can't find anybody willing to do the mundane work of just a process the same over and over and over again, like the assembly line that Henry Ford had for the Model Ts. But robotics came into play, and the robots could do that all day, 24 hours a day. welding, to putting in parts, to moving, every process. You don't need more money or more time. You need to figure out how to get by on the money that you're making right now and how to make best of the time that you have. Seems pretty straightforward to me. So if you're still watching, you're still probably thinking, where is Eric going with all this? That what has this got to do with running a small engine repair shop? It's because as a business owner or an employee of a shop, you're encountering all of this stuff going on today. And one of the biggest things that I can teach you is when you make a mistake, as long as you learn from it and make it better, then that's a positive. And that's a lot like our past. Things happened in the past that during that period worked, but we also found what didn't work. And if we don't remember our past, we will end up redoing it over and over and over again until we realize that our past, we had good and bad things go on. But that doesn't have a lot to do with going on today, other than everybody is trying to get rid of our past. Like, well, let's just erase it, and then it never happened. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. And most of you guys have got kids or grandkids or both. And you're seeing this going on and you're scratching your head. And for you shop owners, you business owners, whether it's in small engine, auto mechanic, what have you, this is what you're going to start dealing with, is nobody wanting to work. Or if they did work, not wanting to have to put forth an effort, but wanting the rewards of someone that has. And having government tell you how you can and cannot run your business. And you're going to say, well, they'll never do that. All right, what about the cake maker for the gay and lesbian community that, his religious feelings were he did not agree with it, and that should have been the end of it, because there's 10 other cake makers in the area that would have done it. But what happened? That cake maker lost their ass, shut their business down, and they were fighting in court until they finally got to the Supreme Court and said, no, they don't have to make the cake. Well, why didn't they just go to another cake maker and just let it go? See what I mean? Instead of your employees and the people around you telling you how to run your business, you need to figure out how to run your business first. And I'm more than willing to listen to other people's views on how it might better my business and stuff. But I won't tolerate somebody telling me how to run my business. And that's where you're headed right now for you business owners, is you're being told how you can run your business. And you're start getting social scores on how well you do socially and environmentally. And I mean, it's going to get harder and harder. Basic economics should always be the cornerstone. And we're throwing it out the window on all this other crap. And you inspiring business owners that want to become a business owner, or the business owners that are there now. I think Amos would agree that it's more and more of the employees trying to tell the business owner how they should run their business, or feel they shouldn't have to do the extra. And that ties into when I started the video on, behavior. It's that 1%er that is dictating what the 99%ers are having to deal with, because we don't want to offend or hurt somebody's feelings. If someone tells me my grandson says he's a dog, we're going to have problems. Okay? That's the end of the conversation right there. He is who he is, no matter what he identifies as. And we as parents, grandparents, and the community need to stand up to this nonsense and get back to the schools teaching our kids the basics, because we're falling as far as education with other countries. We used to be the first of everything, and now the two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, everything's got to be divisive. For you guys that didn't know what 9/11 did, 9/11 brought us together as a force to be reckoned with. You could not stop us. How dare you? But yet you're letting the 1%ers divide you on everything else that's going on today. Whether it's what they're being taught in school, work hours, I just grow tired of people that are doing it, and they know they're doing it, and causing divisiveness in a society, just making everybody worse off. On that note, you guys have a great Tuesday, and so you guys got to get topics for me, or you're going to have to listen to this crap, or the guy crapping on the lawn next door. All right. See you tomorrow morning.